Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Revel channel. I am ready to revel about XSCAPE and SWV because they literally just gave us a reality show that documents women in music, and I felt like this was something that not only was a great show for what it gave, but it allowed us to see something that's very unique and different, or something that we really was missing, not only on Bravo, but reality TV in general. And I will have 3 main points to prove this, and I would love for you to comment down below and let me know if you actually agree with me or not. But when we think of reality TV, it can literally be described as an unscripted series. So when you think of that golden era, you goes into the 90s, early to mid 2000s. There's shows like Real World, Big Brother, Survivor, Flavor of Love. And then when you're talking about the original Housewives. And if you fast forward a little bit, we get into women in music when we're talking about R&B divas in like 2012, 2013. Fast forward more to like 2021, 2022, you get the encore. But literally that whole women in music thing was just, honestly, it was dead. It needed to be revived. We needed something new. And it allowed SWV and XSCAPE to come in, especially because they gave us that versus. I will have my commentary on the first 4 episodes in the description because I'm not going to piggyback on all that other stuff because that's not what this video is about, but I did cover it a little bit. But reality TV allowed us to get the everyday lives of different people that we literally do not know. Now, it has changed over the years to where now we're getting the popular people, celebrities wanting to do it or different things like that. But in the beginning, it was people we didn't know. We learned about things that we knew nothing about. And I feel like for a lot of us, while we love to talk about music and different things like that, do we really know what goes on behind the scenes? Do we really understand the documentation on how everything should be handled and different things like that? The majority of us are gonna say no. And I feel like that was that open window for the show. But let's not waste any more time. We're gonna go ahead and get to our main 3 points. Point number 1, they understood their niche. There are literally many reality TV shows out there right now, but one thing this show understood is they didn't need false narratives or false drama that made no sense to push the show forward. But what they could rely on is the simple fact that there are women in music that have a story to tell from their past and what they're currently trying to do right now. So I have like 2 main subgroups when they were talking about this first point right here. Literally, it's about the history. We were literally talking about 2 groups that really stood out. One is definitely known for being that crossover group to where it doesn't matter where they go, everyone is gonna know their music because they easily cross over into different backgrounds. Then you have another group that is definitely well known, just like the other group, but they are more pop within the Black community. But one thing that both groups definitely have in common is great music that fell within that 90s Renaissance era, something that is completely being copied every day. Copied and sampled to the point where it makes me wonder, do these people even have the opportunity or the mindset of creating something new? Because I'm not going to sit here and act like the 90s wasn't all about sampling just like it is today, but we still had people who brought us something different. And my second point that I want to talk about when it came to this show, we literally felt like we were getting that early 2000s access granted type of feels. The behind the scenes stuff. We learn about the meetings. We learn about rehearsals. We learn about the money talks. We talked about the show, the drama, hair, makeup, real drama between different people, different groups, because we all know why girl groups, guy groups are not going on right now. And all the drama that happened on the show literally put that into the full perspective. And it definitely had social media talking. But because of everything that goes on within the music industry and opening our eyes to what really goes on behind the scenes and what it takes to get a show up and running, they didn't need the fake gimmicks or making fake storylines from what we can see. We don't fully know if anything was fake or real, but it definitely gave that real effect. And that literally brings me to my second point. Real reality TV drama, or real perceived reality TV drama. Let's be real, it did not give me manufactured where I was sitting there looking like, what are you doing? Because I'm not gonna lie, I like Roa, I like Married to Medicine, I like Potomac from time to time when they don't aggravate me. Well, I can say that for any of the shows when they don't aggravate me, because it's like, whoa, why are y'all doing this? Y'all make yourself look crazy. But even in general, all those shows have something in common. Every now and then, we can literally find some heavily manipulated storylines that makes no sense. Every ounce of drama in this show made sense, and it gave that real reality TV vibes that we can definitely deal with, that didn't have us feel like I'm really ready to just tune out. Candy in a discussion on them wanting to be openers for the show and them trying to figure out who's going to open, who's going to close, and how we're going to handle everything. The money issues, the sisters going back and forth, and us learning that this is what it looks like when you don't nip things in the bud ahead of time. This is what it looks like when you allow people to run over you. This is what it looks like when somebody can do something and nobody ever really tells them something. Then we got the people that's in the ear that causes problems within the groups. What it looked like when two groups come together and they can't get along, which definitely showed us why there aren't really any male or women R&B groups out there today. Then you have the dynamics between the mother and the daughter, something that a lot of people definitely resonated with and felt like, oh my goodness, some things really need to change, because we hated seeing that for certain women on the show. And then with another group, you've seen how they definitely work past their issues from back in the day, but it's clear that they don't want to step on somebody's toes, so it really looks like they kind of walk on eggshells from time to time, but they put the money first and they handle the business and they let everything else be like white noise behind them. And then there's another group where it doesn't matter what's going on, there's always some issues because a certain somebody is always messing it up for the others, and I'm talking about that husband. And because we're talking about the husband and other people on the show, that brings me to my third and final point: perfect casting. I'm gonna be real. The cast was perfect because we watched them do the verses and we're like, man, we want more. And then the different characteristics of everybody, where we know them for their music, some we know outside of music, but when you put that all together, I think it was actually a really good recipe that kind of balanced everything out. When you're talking about XSCAPE, we know Candy from not only the music, we also know her for Roa. We know her for everything else that she has brought to Bravo. When it comes to Tamika, Tiny, I have to specify because there's two Tamikas. But when it comes to Tiny, we know her for reality TV and everything that has been going on social media when it comes to her. And every time I look at her, I think of this scene right here from when she was on reality TV. And she's just like a Kiki. Like, she's funny. She gives a different energy on the show. Then you have Tamika, one of the sisters from XSCAPE. And I know her from music, but I also remember seeing her on Tyler Perry. I believe it was Meet the Browns. And as far as Latasha, I honestly don't know her for anything else but the music. But what the show did show us is there's some things she has to work on. But I actually wouldn't mind seeing her work through those issues to like getting to be a better person, because this season of this show definitely painted her in a different light, but she can't really blame that on anybody else. She has to take accountability when it comes to that. And then with SWV, I know they had their own reality show. I did not watch it at that time, but I felt like they were a fish out of water because Bravo is completely different from the network that they were on, but it allowed us to see who they are, the real New Yorkers, because I love how they talk. Like, they're just different. I love seeing their dynamic on the show, how one of them was basically trying to mend the fences between the groups and everything that's going on, and then how it kind of backfired, and we got to see like, okay, we pulled it off when it came to the show, but this is all the problems we had going on behind the scenes, and we getting to learn what the women are doing outside of the show and all their other accomplishments or what they're trying to do when it comes to the business. I think the casting was perfect, and while all those 3 points I feel like definitely made my point of why I felt like this was the perfect show for Bravo and reality TV in general, but it brought back that natural feeling of what we used to get, and it helped us realize that we can literally get what we all have been craving if we stop focusing on just worrying about numbers. I know the networks always worry about numbers, but if you have a great show, the viewers are gonna be there. And I feel like while I heard the discussions of people saying, are they gonna give us another season? It's pretty clear that it's probably only gonna be one season because all the drama that happened and some people not want to come back because it was a little too much for them or they weren't ready for that. But what is clear is they can definitely take this concept and keep it going by talking to different groups. You can literally get different groups together and really pull this off so we can see what is out there. What are some other things that went on? Bring back that 2000s nostalgia. Maybe they can even go as far back as to the 80s. It is so much that they can do with this concept that I feel like Bravo should not miss that opportunity. But let me know if you agree with my thoughts. That's something really quick, a really short video. I have been struggling with actually putting out videos because I have worked on, I believe, 6 different videos, and I have sat on them because I felt like they were all trash. But let me know what else you would like to hear. I worked on like a fashion recap for Nene Leakes over the years. I'm still sitting on that. I have like 2 videos And it's literally the same thing, but me doing it in different ways, but I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do, so I'm sitting on that. I was talking about Rola's fashion over the years for the reunion. I wanted to talk about Abbott because that was my show, and I feel like that is another show that is definitely finding their own niche when we're talking about scripted TV series. Same thing with like All American, Jenny in Georgia, when you're talking about on Netflix. There's so much more that I can do when it comes to that. Then we even have David Bridals when we're talking about fashion. David Bridals going bankrupt. That's a concept right there. There is so much that I wanted to do that I am literally sitting on. I don't know. Let me know if y'all find any of those ideas to be very interesting, and if you would actually like to hear something about that. But comment down below and let me know what you really thought about what we talked about today. Do you think SWV and XSCAPE show was actually really good? Do you agree with some of my main points? Do you disagree? And I will see y'all next time.